Hello, my marvellous sausages, and Doom the Dark Ages is here, and it's absolutely gut-punching, eyeball-tearing, brilliant fun. Here's some hints and tips that you're going to find very, very useful. Now, here's something for you nostalgic Doom folks out there. Down in the middle of the screen there in the centre, we've got Doom Guy's face, doing his Roger Moore eyebrows and everything as we look around, which is totally perfect. However, you can come here to the UI settings and go down to the HUD, and then you've got the face avatar style. So there's the normal one. And then there's a nothing one if you don't want any nothing. But on the end, look, it's the old one from Doom with the pixelized face, which is now going to be mine. I think this is totally fantastic. There he is looking around, and let's see if his face gets bloody the more kickings we get. Let's have a look. Come on, big boy. Oof. Arg. Oof. Look there, look, I'm down to 19 health, and he's all bloodied, which is totally fantastic. Eat my shorts. There we are. Excellent. How much do I love this? It's great. The game talks about superheated metal. You can see here I've got a shielded git, right, who's trying to attack me. Now, if I hit him with my shield, not much is going to happen. It's just going to bounce off him. However, if you shoot the shield, you start to superheat it. Look, see, it starts to glow? There we go. Once it's glowed there, once you shoot it, you do get little bits of armor off it, but that means you can destroy it with your shield as well, look. And then some shards come towards you, which gives you a little bit of extra armor as well. So it's well worth noting with the metal shields, and this also goes for the armor or any of the gits too. Once you see it superheated, slam it with your shield throw, it'll explode, and then some of that armor will transfer to you. You can see here, this guy's wearing superheated, he's got superheated armor on. If I hit him with my shield now, it should knock all his armor off. What's the matter with me? Yeah, see that? It was glowing, and once it was glowing, I could sort him out, governors. When you're flying on your dragon and you've got to blow out certain turrets, but you can only blow them out when you're shooting this supercharged plasma. It's like a super shot. You can see like your normal weapon there, but you get the supercharged plasma kind of shot when you dodge. Now, however, it's worth noting that it's only dodging at the correct time allows this plasma shot to occur so you can take the shields down. So what I got to do is go into assault mode by locking on like that, and then I just move. If I move too early, watch out with the green one, I'll move too early, look, and it doesn't count. I'm still shooting the normal stuff. There's a red one there, I'm moving there, I move too early again, doesn't count. However, if you do it just before it hits, so it gets a bit closer, and hang on and move, didn't work. Hang on, I was too slow there, try again. There we go, the plasma occurred, and that's what takes the shield down. You see, let's try it again. There we go, I ducked just in time. So you want to be dodging, not when it shoots, but kind of just when it arrives at you. The timing is everything as to whether or not these plasma shoots work. There we are, had it again there, good. These ones are a bit quicker on the top. But you know you're shooting the plasma because you get like the blue strikes. Oh, I love this game. Rather than the normal little red ones. Do you know what I mean? Yes. Oh yes, and as just an aside, when you want to land, don't get in too close, because like you can see there, I've got the R3 there. When we want to get too close, it disappears. Look, so you've got to kind of back off a little bit. Sometimes it can appear, sometimes it won't. So make sure it says R3 or whatever it is you're using on the screen, whatever your control is to land, and then it'll work. Something you should start getting used to is the map, because it shows you everything, so you can't miss any secrets or gold or whatever. Look, so you can see here, I'm on my map there, look, and I'm looking at, there's a sigil thing there for an extra life. There's a chest of gold there, and it even shows you the tiny little gold bars, look. So if I look down the alleyway that's close to me there, we should see some gold on the floor, and lo and behold, there it is. Totally excellent. So make sure you're checking your map as much as possible so you don't miss anything. Because look, I can drop down here and there's gold down there as well. We're going to go and check that out now. And also how to get up there as well. Loads of stuff. Let's just check to see if I can find this gold thing. So here we are. We're going to go down now into the pit. Well, there we are. Look, we've got stuff in here. Shed loads of gold. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And let's have a quick look at the map again. And it's showing me there. Look, there we are. I've picked everything up that I can. Lovely. And then I can swim away as well, which is totally ridiculous. How can this guy swim? Anyway, there we are. Oh, look, what's happened is I've swum up and I'm here where the gold chest is as well. So that map has just got me loads of lovely gold. Make sure you check it regularly because gold is integral to upgrading your doodads. Punch that gold. Now, when you're thinking of upgrading, for me personally, I've been upgrading my shield first of all because I'm using it so much. So I've got, what have I got? I've got 229 gold there. So 125 now I can purchase this one. The shield will recover faster from taking damage and also recover faster after breaking. So yes, this is well worth doing the shield. It's entirely up to you, of course. But because I'm using it so much, it's just like the best thing to do. And also now, once you come down to these latter levels, you can see there, look, that instead of gold, now I require rubies to unlock the stuff. So I've got a couple of rubies there. This is my first ruby purchase, actually. Killing multiple fodder demons with shield throw will empower your next shield charge, allowing it to deal increased damage to the primary target. So we'll have that one as well, which is excellent. There we are. Harvester required. We'll do that. Good. And then why not, while I'm here, I'm going to actually do this as well. The stun duration of the shield sword is increased. Yes. Let's have that. So we've unlocked now the complete downside there, the base. The other thing we've got to unlock now is the runes. Now the shield is an amazing addition to Doom, and of course you can use it to slice things up. I've completely charged mine up, by the way. I bought all the upgrades for it up until the runes. But what it can do is a many-fold. First of all, you can use it to shatter the armor off Gits. So you can see what's his face there, he's starting to glow with his armor. I've already shown you a glimpse of this before. And then once you hit him enough, then his armor will come off. Not quite shattering there. There we go. Now it will. No, it won't. I missed him. There we are. Let's try it again. Bang. There we go. His armor's come off or smashed his legs. But what it really does is parry. And parrying is really powerful and helps you take down these massive knobheads. So the best way to do it is stand in front of a green globe and punt it back at them thusly. Bang, there we go, that's great. So whenever you see green attack coming at you, do your shielding and get a bit of a parry going in. I tend to dive in front of them as well as much as possible. Because then, of course, you give them more kick-ins. This is great as well, the chain shot. It's hilarious. I really am enjoying... Oh, and my flail. There we go. Let's smash these things off. Now, there we go. He's nearly all gone. Is he going to shoot any green stuff at me? Yes. Oh, it's stuck in the wall. Git. Oh, I'm out of... Ooh. He's a big one, these fellas, aren't they? Yes. Right. Let's keep it going. Green and finisher. Lovely. So, yeah, your shield is fantastic, and I can heartily recommend upgrading it as soon as possible. Doom Guy is a bit of a nuclear bomb because whenever he drops on the floor from any kind of height, really, he leaves a big trail of destruction in his wake. So watch now, we'll get a nice little impact, boom, down, which will kill the little peewee gits like that. Look, so like the little ones you kill quite easily, they'll all be totally trashed when you land. And the higher height that you fall from, the bigger the wallop. Guy with a shield didn't get killed, but all the guys around him did, look. So that's a very useful way. Don't forget that you can start off your attack by squashing them on their heads. Help them being attacked. And I just want to talk a little bit about difficulty because they've got so many tweaks on here to make the game as easy or as difficult as you like. You've got the overall difficulty levels there, Aspiring, Slayer, Hurt Me Plenty, Ultraviolence, and Nightmare. No thanks. But if you want to pick, you can tweak each one. For example, the parry window, so just how long the parry window is active when you bring your shield up. You can shrink the time of that if you think, oh, I'm getting that all the time. I want to give myself a bit more of a challenge. You've got enhanced targeting. This is highly recommended for players that are new to first-person shooters, and significant aiming forgiveness. So it's basically like, you know, sucks your bullets towards them. And they've also got empowered attacks as well. Enemies are more susceptible to being interrupted by the Slayer's attacks, reducing demand for tactical decision-making during combat. So you can switch all of these things on and off to give yourself a more custom playthrough, because I found the Aspiring Slayer very, very easy. So you want to be able to tweak that just a little bit, you know, to see how it works. Then you got your damage overall, so you can adjust the amount of damage taken from enemies. So at the moment, I'm taking 50% of damage. There's the normal 100% of damage, although there's more you can just add on to it if you want to make your life an utter misery. You can do that. Or damage to demons, you can increase the amount of damage that you diff out. Reducing this value will make enemies tougher than you and your weapons less effective, so you can increase the damage that you deal out, look, right up to 1,000%. That's hilarious. So it's well worth coming in here and having a bit of a fiddle to see what you like. Remembering 100%, of course, is standard. You can change the aggression of the enemies, look. You can speed the game up. You can give the days duration. The longer their days, the more time you'll have to get over them to perform glory strikes and so on. So it's well worth popping ahead in here if you are finding it a little bit difficult and you want to tweak things as opposed to just picking something like changing the entire setting. Like, go to Hurt Me Plenty, look, it shows you there. Then it turns off enhanced targeting, it turns off empowered attacks, damage to players at 100%, damage to demons. So you can see the difference that it makes visually when you change it. Let's have a little look at Nightmare. Good God, so we got like 2.5 times more damage given to us there. Look, damage to demons stays the same. Yeah, that's quite mad. So come in here and tweak these if you want to have a more difficult or a more enjoyable, relaxing experience. It's Doom, for God's sake. Pretty soon into the game, you're going to unlock challenges. Now, you can find these by coming into your screen with all your doodads on it. Now, the challenges are really important because they're going to reward you with, you can see you're going to get rubies as a reward there, 50 gold, and 50 gold for that one there, which you need to purchase all your upgrades. So these are really important to keep a track of, okay? Now, you can keep track of them visually on the screen if you want to. So if I wanted to keep track of all 3 of these, look, I can pin it, pin the middle one, and pin that one, and then when I come out onto the screen, look, you can see they're there. Look, so I've got counter cult, I've got 1 out of 3 with a layover note out of 2 and the cat and mouse note out of 3. That's pretty cool thing to have there because it's going to make you do a bit more exploring. And like I said, don't forget to use your auto map affair, hang on, here it is, to have a little look and see if you can see any sort of secrets lurking around the place. This is only a small little level because I'm on a ship, but yes, make sure you do that so you can upgrade your stuff a lot more quickly, because cash is king. Now, not only do you have individual weapons, but you have variations on that weapon type. So you can see here I've picked up, it's called the Accelerator, but it's kind of like a plasma pistol. These are great for, well, they're nice fast kills, particularly for taking out all the trash mobs. But what they're good at doing is overloading the energy shields, which then cause an explosion. They're also good as well at superheating the shields, the metal shields. So then you can use your shield to destroy them like that and collect the armor. See, I did it again. But what you can do as well is if you can change between different weapons of that type. So I've got the plasma, the accelerator here, but if I press square, I'll change to this baby, okay? Now, this is called the, I've forgotten, hang on. This is called the Cycler look, and this is a weapon that launches powerful plasma spikes at a moderate rate of fire, so it's a more heavy-duty version of the plasma that we've already been using. But you can see here underneath the weapons, look, I've got a different type for my Impaler, and I can swap that round to the Shredder. They're fully automatic weapons that deal effective damage at any range, and a precision weapon that delivers high damage at a slow rate of fire. It kind of launches a spike. And then down here, you can see I've got my difference. I've got my super shotgun, and I've also got my combat shotgun. Now, what took me a little bit of a while to figure out here is that you don't switch between them in the same way that you switch between all of your weapons. So at the moment, I've got on R1, I switch between my last 2 weapons. I switch between them. So there's my super shotgun, and then it goes back then to the cycler there. Now, if I wanted to change it between weapons of the same type, so I wanted to go to my accelerator, I'm on the cycler, but I gotta press square, and then that goes to the weapon in that group as well. Look. So it's a little bit of getting used to in regard to swapping over, or it was for me anyway, for the weapon types. And once you get to do it, it's quite intuitive. Now, the other thing you might not like is I've got my weapon swap button here. It changes between this weapon and my last weapon. So I'm going between my super shotgun and my accelerator there. If I wanted to change to any of the others, I've got to hold down the weapon wheel like this, and then I can pick it from the weapon wheel. However, you can go into settings. Hang on, I'll do that now. Go into settings, and then instead of having it switch between your last 2 weapons, you can cycle through the weapon. So you can see here I'm in game in the first menu. We go right the way down to quick switch style, and I go to previous, so it's switching between the previous, or I can go to next, so it'll cycle along in the pile. And I think that's the one I prefer because that's kind of a bit more old school for me in regard to, there we are, I can get my plasma, and then I can get my that ridiculous thing that shoots shards of bones. Look at the skull being crushed up inside it. I can't remember the name. The pulverizer, that's the one. Look how cool that is. Look at the skull being crushed up. That's good for sorting out large crowds of gits. But yeah, I prefer to cycle through the next weapon there. There's me cannonballer there as well, which is great for smacking people in face. Thusly. You can also charge this baby up as well, and then smack him in the face like this. Ooh, nasty. There are also a couple of other settings here on the UI that you might find useful. First of all, we've got the high contrast mode down there. Look, now you've got the, you can see the numbers for your health and for your armor there. The high contrast mode, it just puts a nice little dark shadow behind the numbers so they're easier to see on screen. Might be handier for you. And this as well, and this is something you might find very useful. It's a threat detector. It's just basically showing you where the attacks are coming from. So you've kind of got in parryable only. So that means those, the green green attacks that you normally get when you parry. You can see where they're going to be coming from. That's very useful. Or you can have it on for all directional attacks. So to be honest with you, for me, I think maybe the parryable one might be the most useful because that one's all over the shop. However, if you're getting spun around and you're not knowing where any of the enemies are, this might be a good one to turn on because it's off by default. So I just wanted to get the ball rolling there on some hints and tips for getting into Doom the Dark Ages. It's completely fantastic and your gob will drop on the floor. Now what I want is for you guys to drop any hints and tips that you've got in the comments as well to make people's games more enjoyable, less full of friction, but I gotta be honest, it's such a slick, well-produced affair. There's hardly anything wrong with it, just tweaking it until you get your ideal setup. Anyway folks, thank you so much for watching and I shall speak to you all again very soon. Doomslayer out.